Hi everyone, I'm April and you're watching The Tangled Cat Speaks. Now you've probably noticed, maybe, that I did not put in a podcast last Sunday. I believe that the last episode, I did tell you that this past Sunday was my Thanksgiving dinner with my family since I had to work on Thanksgiving Thursday. So I did not podcast that day. I was hoping to get in a little bit of time sometime during the day to record a video, but I just didn't. I spent a lot of time with family and cooking and just having a really blessed time. So I didn't get to do that. As far as podcasting, I had a really good time. I had a lot of good food, lots of fun conversation. It was just really, really nice. And it was nice to get to see my sisters and my dad and all of us together in one place. Excuse me. There have been a few little ups and downs with things happening with my mom. I'm her caregiver right now. And she was having some weakness. I was very scared the other morning because she just could not move. I ended up taking her to the emergency room for fear of stroke. I was very, very scared. She wasn't speaking correctly and moving correctly, and it just really scared me. It turns out it's not a stroke, thank God. So that's good. It turns out that she has vertigo, which she's never had before. And apparently it has something to do with some crystals being formed in her inner ear, and they're rattling around and they're messing with her balance and everything. So she was very dizzy, and being dizzy made her sick, and just it was a very, very scary thing because we didn't know what was going on, and we ended up in the emergency room for about over 15 hours. Just slow moving. It's just slow moving there. Every test that they wanted to order took forever to get through. And then when that ruled something out, they did another test and that took forever. So we were there for quite a long time. But we got it figured out now. She's doing much better. She's not as dizzy as she was. It's been, I would say, about a week and a half, maybe. Excuse me, my nose is very itchy. We've been doing exercises with her to move her head and tilt. I guess that's supposed to help move the crystals that are in her ear. We've gotten her a cane to walk with so that she can be more steady on her feet. But I've noticed over the last few days that her dizziness is less. So she seems to be doing much better, but the doctors did say that it was probably going to be a recurring situation from time to time. So now that I know what it looks like, I'll be able to recognize it if and when it happens again. So there was that this week. There was a lot of overtime and stuff at work as usual. And also my son had his championship football game for the state championship. Unfortunately, they lost. So he's quite a bit bummed about that. But he played a really good game. The whole team did. It was just one of those, they went completely undefeated up until that last game. So it was a little bit heartbreaking for my son, but there was a lot of really good individual moments for him and for some of the other players. So it was a really good game. So there was that. And during that game, I was freezing. It was so, so cold. So I got to wear my 3-color cashmere cowl that I finally finished. And I don't know what it's doing here. This is the bind off end. And I did not do an extra stretchy bind off. I did your normal, average, traditional bind off. But maybe I was trying to do it extra loose just in case because I didn't want it to be too tight. Maybe that's what's going on. But it wants to curl down, which is kind of annoying. Now, the cast on edge doesn't do that at all. So I don't know what that is. And I didn't have a chance to block this yet because as soon as I finished it, it was basically time to go to the game. So I'm thinking that when I do block it, because I wet block most of my stuff that has lace. So I'm thinking when I block it, I'm going to lay it flat. I'm not going to pull, especially at this end, I'm not going to pull it very much. But I'm thinking if I can't seem to get my fingers to work right now. But I'm thinking if I block it, fold it under all the way around, that maybe that'll help the tendency to want to roll out. I don't know. It's just a theory. I have no idea, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to go over real quick. Again, this was the 3-color cashmere cowl by Jorge Locatelli, and I did get it done in time for her Jorge fall cowl this year, so that was exciting. So I got 2 projects done. It was the 2-color socks and the 3-color cashmere cowl that I had entered into that. So I'm very excited. So the yarn that I used was Knit Picks Stroll. And these are the 3 colors. This was Agate Heather, Dogwood Heather, and Duchess Heather. And I have just small amounts of this left of each color. I was able to put a little bit of each color into my memory blanket and still have really tiny balls left. So that's going to go into my little jar of super minis so that someday, if I ever get to it, I can make the, I keep mentioning it, the Fiddly Bits cowl. Who knows, maybe 2019 will be the year for me to start that cowl. But I got it done. I'm super excited. It was so warm and bunched up against my neck and just kept, it saved my life. It saved my life. And actually, because this Dogwood Heather color is the same yarn that I used when I did the Sweet Adeline pattern that I wrote. It's a slouchy lacy beanie. I wore that underneath my hoodie. So it was kind of cool. It matched. I had a little matching set going on. So that was exciting. So I got it done. Hooray for me. One thing I did not get done was the pair of socks that I did or I was planning to do for the Brown Bagging It Sock Club in November. And that was the charcoal gray lace socks with the noops. I haven't worked on those at all since the last time I showed them. I decided to go ahead and put those away. I'm not going to finish them until after the new year. And I am not going to do the December Brown Bagging It Sock Club pair of socks. I got just so excited with wanting to do the 2 Advent wraps that I mentioned that I was going to do. The Adventurous and the Adventurer wraps by Amba O'Brien. So I knew I wanted to do those, and those were going to take up a lot of my time. And I mentioned a while back also that my daughter had wanted a cowl, and she had picked some specific yarns that she thought she might like. And I didn't really get that far on it, but when I showed them to her in person, because she had only seen the dyed yarns, the yarns that I dyed in person, or I'm sorry, in photographs. But when she saw it in person, she wasn't as keen for that. So we went through and chose another pattern, and she wanted a solid color. And of course, she wanted black or dark gray. So we went with a dark gray. And what this is the Knit Picks Mighty Stitch Bulky Yarn, which is 80% acrylic and 20% superwash wool. And it's knitting up really well. I'm using a US 15 needle, or it's a 10 millimeter. And this is my old standby interchangeable set by Boy. But it's working out perfectly. And this is the Big Rice cowl. And I'll put the name up here with the designer's name. I can't remember her name. But it's working up really, really well. It's 121 stitches, I believe, around. And of course, I messed that up. When I was casting on and joining in the round, I don't know if I was just not paying attention or I don't know what. But I managed to twist it pretty good. So it wasn't, and of course it's hard to tell when you're knitting in the round right away whether or not you've twisted your stitches. So it wasn't until I had gotten about 3 or 4 rounds done that I realized, yeah, I twisted them. So let me find my cast on edge, or my beginning of round. So it's actually working out. You can't really see too much, but this is where I kind of, when I got back to this position, I sort of did, like, I untwisted it, which still made it kind of twisted and it looks a little strange. But basically what I did was, and this was much smaller at the time, I went like that a couple of times until I got them sitting properly. But what that did was cause a little bit of a twist in here. And I'm thinking because it's such a loose gauge that it's very difficult to even see how I've corrected that. So that's a plus. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to drop stitches because the needles are and the yarn together are so slippery. I don't want another mishap with this. Let's see. It's really, you really can see right here, there's this weird little twisty thing, but I think once I go back and weave in my end and pull that kind of together, it's gonna hide it really well. So that worked out. It was just a simple, easy mistake to make, and I hadn't done that in years, so I guess it was about time for something silly to happen. But it's working up very open and fluffy, and it actually calls for some well over 400 yards. And each of these, I only got 2 of these balls, and they're only 136 yards each. So that's going to give me, what, about 272? So I'm definitely going to have a smaller cowl. I cast on the same number of stitches, so it's not going to be as deep. But it's long, so it's going to double up anyway, so it's just not going to be crazy thick. So that's fine. I think that'll work out. I mean, we're in New Mexico. It's not super crazy cold where we need this super huge thick cowl. So I think it's going to work out nice, and it's, like I said, it's working up really fast. This was one evening's work, and I'm almost through this first ball. So I'm hopefully today I'm going to get most of this done, if not all of it. It's super quick. It's a simple, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's a seed stitch. So super, super easy. And there you go. There's that one. So the other things that I'm working on are the 2 Advent wraps. Let's see, let's start with last year's pattern by Amba O'Brien, which was the Adventurous wrap. Now this one, I'll put a picture here. It's basically 2 triangles kind of sitting opposite of one another. I chose the option of 25 different minis that I have been collecting over all of 2018. So I finally got them all, and I believe that one of the episodes previously I showed you each and every one of them. So I'm not doing 1 ball or 1 mini a day. I'm kind of doing, right now, because it's a triangle and it's starting off so small, this is what I have so far. And because, you know, this was 1 color, this was the 2nd color, and then the 3rd. This is actually I finished the 4th, and I've just started the 5th color. But because it's still so small, because of the way, you know, making a triangle, I couldn't stop. I had to keep adding minis. I had to keep going. I couldn't stop. But that's fine, because it's still going to take me the entire month to get through, because I'm knitting not only on just this, but I'm knitting on the other wrap. So I figure as this gets bigger, I'm not going to be able to get through as many colors in a day later on. So I'm not too worried about it. It's going to all even out in the end. So yeah, this is 4 colors so far, and we will be using color number 1 again at some point. This is on a US 5 needle, or it's also a 3.75 millimeter. And if you could see, I've got my little angel progress keeper right there, which I meant to get a second one to put on the other shawl, and I forgot to get it, but I have a whole set of these. I think I've showed them before. So that is that. So I've got my booga bag here full of my minis for this particular project. This was color number 1. And I didn't have a name for this because this one was one of the ones that I got from Yarn to You off of Etsy. It's color number 1. She didn't name them. This was color number 2, also by her. And then color number 3 was this one. This one was a Hue Loco color. This was Sneaky Wombat. And then color number 4 is also Hue Loco, the Outer Space Love. So far they're all kind of just going into one another like this. And I've got the 5th color, which is also Hue Loco, and this is Gnome Garden. So it's going to go into there. Now, some of the colors that I have are going to be very subtle. You've got colors 2, 3, 4, and the beginning of 5 up in here. Not 2, 3, 4, and the beginning of 5 right in here. But it's very subtle transitions, whereas colors 1, 2, and 3, there's a little bit more obvious transition, which I don't mind. I really, really like that. Everything is going to be different, and it's just going to I think it's fun. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes not so much. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm having a blast changing colors. So, yeah, right now I'm on color 5. And I will be showing you more as I go along. So there's that one. The next one was the Adventurer wrap by Amba O'Brien. So this one I am doing 1 color a day. And since today is December 2nd, I do have 2 colors on here. Where is the other one? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I know where it is. Excuse me. Let's start with the yarns. These are the 2-ply Afghan yarns by Hirschner's. Got it directly off of their website. And like I said, I have tons and tons of these. I've got like one of every single color, every single solid color in this yarn. It's a sport weight, 100% acrylic. But it's got a little bit of a stickiness to it. Not sticky like gummy, but like it sticks to itself. So it actually works in really simple lace patterns. So the first color that I used is the Forest Green. And the second one that I have just now finished for day 2 is the Emerald Green. And so this is what it looks like so far. That's the back side. I am loving it. Loving it. Having so much fun. I'm about to stripe in the 3rd color, which is going to be, what is this one? Lettuce. So far this is what my progression looks like. Super excited. So I'll get this on tomorrow. So far working on this one has been maybe about 30 minutes. And each color on this one takes me about an hour, hour and a half, depending on how many interruptions I get. But that's okay. It's my evening knitting. Well, it will be today and yesterday were kind of, I got to do it throughout the day. So, but now that I'm going to be going back into the beginning of my work week, This is probably going to be my evening knitting. So, well on my way there, having a blast with it to see what comes next and to see how it all is going to, just envision how it's all going to come together. Some of the things I've been distracted by is new yarn. Knit Picks just had a huge sale. So of course, I went crazy on that. Sorry, kicking it again. I went crazy on that sale, but this time I bought yarn with a particular patterns in mind. I didn't just start shopping willy-nilly and then later on have to figure out how I'm going to work with it. So what I did was I got 2 balls. These are 50 grams each, sport weight, 100% Peruvian Highland wool. This is the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. And this is the colorway Current. These 2 I'm going to use to make the Tea House Shawlette, and I'll put the name with the designer's name up here. I want to make that. So it's a little bit, I've never used this yarn before, and it's a little bit scratchy. Definitely not as soft as their Stroll yarn, but it's not unbearable. It'll be nice for a little shawlette. So super excited about that. And I've noticed that a lot of my yarns are wildly variegated, so I really wanted to start getting a few more solids in my life. So I also got, excuse me, I gotta scoot it closer. Hold up. I got a bunch more of the Wool of the Andes, but in different colors, and this is for a different shawl. It's called the Outing Shawl, and it's multicolored. I got, the main color is going to be, that's upside down, that's backwards, whatever. So I've got 4 of these, and this is the Lake Ice Heather colorway. Somewhere, there it is. So these are my main, this is my main color. And then it has 4 contrasting colors. The particular colors that I'm using are going to be Sapphire Heather, which is one of my favorite colors that Knit Picks does. Somewhere. Sapphire Heather. And I've got 2 of those. And one of the Papaya Heather. Hello. Hello. It says Papaya Heather. It's not working. And then I got some, I got this mostly because it's my favorite drink. This is what I'm drinking right now. Green tea. So this is the Green Tea Heather. And then, of course, I needed to add some plain old whites. So I think all of these colors are going to be really, really interesting together. And again, this is the Outing Shawl. So I think they're going to look really, really nice together. And then the last one that I wanted to do, I've been wanting to make the Campside Shawl forever. It's just sitting there in my Ravelry library, just waiting for me to say, hey, I'm ready for you. Well, I finally decided on a yarn. And what I picked was Knit Picks Gloss DK yarn. And this is their Velveteen colorway. I love the color. It's a very soft mauvey color. It looks like it's showing up a little more taupe, but it's like a dusty pink mauve color. But I got it. I like the color. Don't get me wrong. I think it's beautiful. But I got it because Velveteen, and it made me think of that story, The Velveteen Rabbit. That was such a sad story, but it was just one of my favorites as a kid. I loved it. So now I'm going to have a Campside Shawl with that color name. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I keep moving off camera because I have so much and everything's way over there. Hold on, one more time. So I did order a couple of things off of Etsy. Because I realized I don't actually have any Christmassy yarn at all. I have reds, I have greens, but I don't have anything specifically Christmas. So I went on to Etsy, and excuse me for the noise. The first one that I got was from oh, she sent me tea. Pumpkin spice chai. The first one that I got was from Tiffany at Tippy Tree Yarns. There's that. Cute. She sent me some Tazo chai pumpkin spice. Yum. That's for later. And she wrapped it up super cute in some glitter, Christmas glitter wrapping paper. Cute little twine bow. This one is her deck. No, she labeled it. No, she did email me because I ordered the Nutcracker. She labeled it Deck the Halls, but that's not what it is. So forget that exists. This is the Nutcracker colorway on the Tippy Sparkle Sock, 100 grams, 438 yards. It is a 75, 20, and 5 merino nylon stellina. So there's some sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in my camera. Definitely sparkly. Let's take this tag. Oh, look at that. She even sent a little progress keeper. Cute. It is, what is that? From like cards, like a club, right? Cute. But I love it. Gold, black, red, white. So pretty. So this is the Nutcracker colorway. I love it. So there's one Christmas yarn. The other yarn I got also off of Etsy is in this purple bag. And I got this from Splash of Color Yarns. Here's her. And you can already see this is 100% Christmas. It's so Christmassy. This is called Holly Jolly. It's 100% superwash merino. Reading the wrong thing. She's got all of the different bases listed on here with a check mark on the correct one. I should read that one. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards for 100 grams. So it's a little lighter weight than the Nutcracker one that I have, but oh, it's so pretty. Solids, and then some speckly. Oh, can't you just smell? Like it just makes you think mint and you smell mint, peppermint candy. Maybe it's just me. I could be crazy. But what I'm planning on doing is making 2 pairs of knee-high socks for myself. And what I want to do is, this would be the main color, and then this would be the contrast heels and toes, and then vice versa. So I have 2 pairs of opposite socks. Hopefully I can get some knee-high length with this yarn. So I'm super excited. I know that this one is a little bit heavier weight than this one, but I think it's still going to work out. It's not going to be too big of an issue. So I'm super happy. So I got me some official Christmas yarn for the first time ever, 2018. I never even bought Christmas yarn for like to make dishcloths or anything, like the cotton. I never bought Christmas acrylic yarn ever. Never have I bought Christmas yarn until now. So super, super excited about that. I think that's about everything. Excuse me. I finished reading The Moving Finger by Agatha Christie, and I forgot how much I really enjoyed that book. So I'm glad we got to read it again, reread it again this year. So that was really good. I finished that, and I just found the the book that we're going to read for December in the Delicious Death group, Delicious Death group on Ravelry. We're reading. It's called. I think it has two different names. It's either the 13 Problems or the Tuesday Night Club Murders, something like that. I think it was named one title in the UK, and in the US it had a different title, but it's the same story. And I believe it might be a bunch of short stories that are all tied in together. It'll be really nice to listen to that on audio while I knit on my two big giant wraps over here. So yeah, really pleased about that. And as far as actual physical hold in your hands kind of book, I'm reading finally the Sarah Rain book. The third in her series of haunted houses is The Whispering. So I just started that. I'm still in the first chapter, but I finally am able to get around to reading that one. Very pleased about it. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of little things going on here and there. I just got a bunch of stuff from Amazon that I ordered because at work we chose several children to give gifts for Christmas who are in they're come from displaced families, and they're with foster care right now. So we were able to choose some names and get them some gifts. So I got a bunch of the stuff that I ordered for those gifts, and I got to wrap them all up and take them over to work so we can deliver them to those children. I got a bunch of stuff there. I got most of my Christmas shopping done. I think the last person that I need to shop for is my mom. I'm having a really, really hard time with that. I don't know what to get her. I have no idea. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. And if you've been here with me for a little while, you'll know that back in June, I moved house. So when I moved, I threw away a lot of my old ornaments for my Christmas tree because they were, old. It's just the generic get from the store shiny balls. There's a lot of them were cracked. A lot of them didn't have the holder to put the hook in anymore. They were just old and mismatched, and I decided to go ahead and get rid of all of those. And so now today, sometime later today, I'm going to go ahead and go ornament shopping and get a few more things. The only ornaments I kept when I moved were any of the things that were sentimental to me, things that were gifts or things that my kids made over the years. So those are the only things that I kept. So now I just need to get a few more things, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to try for a color scheme. Usually it's just kind of a mishmash of different things on my tree, and it's just colorful. I don't know if I want to try for a theme this year or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens when I go into the store and I see all the things. But I'm going to go ahead and risk doing that. It's cold outside. I woke up to snow, which is very literally a light dusting of snow, what other people would consider a dusting of snow, because we're in New Mexico. We don't get snow like a lot of places. So, but it was really nice to wake up and see the bushes and everything covered. And I'll show you a little clip of what I saw this morning. Yay, we got snow. Oh, it's so pretty. I love waking up to snow. It's a desert, so it's so pretty when we get even just a little bit. So super happy. But yeah, that was at the clip that I put in was at about maybe 8 o'clock this morning, and here it is already past noon, and all of that is gone. You couldn't even tell that there was any kind of snow outside. So living in a desert, that's what happens. But it was really nice to wake up to it this morning. It was really cozy and pretty to look out the window and see. So yeah, that's been my last couple of weeks. I will see you all next week. And I always forget to mention, if you want to get a hold of me or if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the Tangled Cat on Instagram, as well as here on YouTube, and it's the Tangled Cat on Ravelry. So I'm there. You can find me there. Yeah, so I am so happy that I was able to get back to you after having a week off. I really did feel bad not podcasting last week. I felt bad. I shouldn't feel bad. I know life happens, and sometimes spending time with family is the most important thing, and not some of the little extra things that we put on ourselves. So while it was good in that sense, I did feel bad, but I'm back. I'm here, and I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day. If it's cold where you are, please stay warm. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Aggie, Aggie, I'm done knitting for today. Aggie? Hi, pretty. I love you.